So if you like really beautifully designed minimal stationery and household goods, you are really going to enjoy today's haul. Hi guys, it's Magali, and if it's your first time on my channel, then welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I make regular videos on beauty, fashion and lifestyle, and today is going to be a Muji haul. In case you guys have never heard of Muji, here's a tiny introduction. They are like this cult favorite Japanese brand basically, and how IKEA is known for a very minimal Scandinavian aesthetic, that way Muji is known for like the Japanese minimal aesthetic. They have so many different things. They've got clothing for men and women, they've got undergarments, I think they have children's stuff, they have travel stuff, they have sleepwear, household things. They're very well known in stationery circles for like their pens and journals and books and stuff. Like the list goes on and on. They have been in India for a good few years actually, but till now they only sold in a few stores. Like Mumbai had one store I know, and then there were a few throughout India. They didn't really have e-commerce, and I know a lot of people prefer going to stores to shop, but even if the stores are close to me, I actually prefer shopping online. Just I find it to be a more relaxing experience, and I actually make better, more informed decisions if I shop online. Like I Google for reviews and stuff, so that has always been my preferred way of buying new things, I guess. And now I'm very glad that Muji is also available online. They don't have their own website, but they are actually stocking on Ajio. I'm gonna leave links below. Ajio is a well-known e-commerce site in India. I used to do a lot of Ajio clothing hauls also back in the day, and I'm very comfortable with the platform. They even have an app. So all of the things that I'm going to show you guys today will be listed and linked in the description bar below. If you'd like to jump onto any specific category, also like directly go onto certain sections of the Muji stock, then I'm going to leave links to those below. Muji also has a few like beauty products. It's not makeup, but they have skincare that people really love. But I have too much skincare, so I did not pick up any skincare yet. So these are all of the things basically that I picked up, and feels like everything's gonna fall down. But yeah, there's a little bit of stationery, there's a little bit of organization, and then there's this. This is very special. I wanted this for a while. We're going to go over everything right now. And I feel like someone or the other is going to notice like the weird color on my fingers. I have a little bit of dye staining. This was a very preventable little beauty accident that happened at home, but had I worn gloves, I would not have thought of to buy a ʀᴜ today. So there's an upside to everything.
No, I'm afraid I just blew myself.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the very famous Muji Aroma Diffuser, because this is one of the larger things of the haul. It is one of the more expensive things, and it is also the thing I'm most excited about. So this was definitely not an impulse purchase, because I have wanted to buy this one for a while. And I decided to buy it around December, Jan, but I never actually went to the store, so I'm glad many months later I finally have it. Now I'm going to tell you why I decided to get an aroma diffuser, and then I will explain exactly how it works. So basically, I'm a really big fan of my workspace or my living space smelling really nice. Who isn't, right? It really adds to the ambience and it makes you feel good. There are different essential oils you can use when you want to be in a more alert, more productive headspace, and there are different essential oils that you can use when you want to chill out and when you want to relax and all of that. So last year I was really tempted to buy those fancy 3-wick candles for home, and then I realized candles aren't that practical, at least not in Mumbai or not in my household, because most of the year it's actually pretty hot. So if you don't run an air conditioner and stuff, you cannot really light a candle with the fan on, and if you turn the fan off, then of course it's kind of too hot. And then also, like, you're burning something with a flame in your room, you're adding to the internal pollution of your room, because even if it's using eco-friendly wax and stuff, it's going to burn a little bit of soot. You might not be able to see it, but that's happening, and you're also adding heat. Not to mention those candles are kind of expensive, and then you know, once you finish off a candle, you obviously have to buy a new one. So that's where something like this makes so much more sense. This does not burn the oil. It kind of works like a humidifier, and it's completely cool. When this is working, there's absolutely no heat that it gives off, which makes so much of sense. And then when you buy this aroma diffuser, you're making the initial investment in buying it, but essential oils, even good quality ones, are largely really affordable. And each time you actually run this, you need like 2 to 3 drops of essential oil. So that ends up becoming very much more sustainable and affordable in the long run also. I have been wanting to buy a nice quality electric diffuser for a while. I kept on looking up reviews. There are many available, and every time I looked for reviews, ultimately I always came back to this Muji one, because this is one of the best reviewed aroma diffusers like all around the world. Not only is like the diffuser so beautifully designed, like it's very simple, I know, but there are these little design details that make it such a pleasure to use. So like this is the plug. This is obviously like an Indian normal plug point, and this stays really nicely in the plug socket, and it doesn't get loose or anything like that, because I'm so fed up of having those plugs that don't stay well in some extension boxes. They just kind of shake a lot, while this one is very secure. So you connect it to the bottom like so over here, and then there's this little slot that will help the cable behind. This diffuser is so simple to use. Like you also get this measuring cup. This marks the different amount of water that you can put in. So you can put a maximum of 100 ml. You just plug the diffuser in, open it up like this, fill up however much water you want. I would only recommend the full 100 ml if you are going to be running it for a long time. If you're running it for a spurt of half an hour or 1 hour, you need less water than that. And then you also drop in a few drops of whatever essential oil you're going to use. You can actually make your own blend also. You can look up various combinations that go well together and would help, and then you could put like one drop of each, and then you kind of just slip the lid back on. And at the back there are just 2 simple functions. So one button turns it on, and it also has like the timer mentioned, and the second button has the light. So the timer, you can run it for different amounts of time. When you first press the button, it automatically comes on 180 minutes, which is the maximum you can run it at one time, which is pretty long, you know, because it's 3 hours. And then you can do 120 minutes, 2 hours, 60 minutes or 30 minutes. And you know, you can turn it off anytime also, but this function is really good because you can set however a long time you want it to run, and kind of just forget about it. When the timer finishes, it will just go off on its own. And the second button has light, so this has this beautiful like warm glowy light inside it, and the light can be off, or if you're using it at night, turning on the light feels wonderful. So there's just 2 settings. When you first press the light button, you will get a more brighter light, so when you're awake and stuff, that's fine. But if you want to put this diffuser while you're going to bed, then press the light button again, and you'll get a very mild light that will not disturb you from like going to sleep, but it gives you that little like soothing nightlight sort of effect. So it's very satisfying and calming to see that like whole mist coming out of the diffuser. I find myself just staring at it sometimes. And if your room is very silent and you're close to the diffuser, you can hear this very mild like plop plop sloshing sound from it. It's very silent. I was surprised because I was expecting some kind of like machinery noise or something, and there is no sound like that. But if you're close by and you concentrate, you can hear that light whooshing of water, which is really nice, I think. Basically, I'm just gushing about this because I've only had it for about 4 days now, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I'm so happy that I made the decision to buy it, and I'm mostly turning it on about twice a day. You can keep it anywhere in your house. It does need to be plugged into work. It doesn't have a battery, but they do not recommend keeping it close to your computer or anything like that, of course, because it is releasing a mist, and an overt amount of humidity should not be directed at any kind of electronics. You should also not keep this too close to any kind of books and all. But if you have houseplants, adding humidity into your environment actually helps houseplants. This is the regular size, and there's also like a much bigger size one which is more expensive. If you have a really big room or something, you could look into that. I feel like that would work well for like our living and dining room because that's larger. So I'm just mentioning that, you know. We're gonna move on to the other thing. So I will just show you like the organization cum decor items that I bought, and then finally we'll move on to the stationery. So I got this PP makeup storage box. So they actually have these storage boxes in a lot of different sizes, and I just picked one just because I wanted to see the quality. PP is polypropylene, which is a type of plastic, obviously, because there are so many different types. More than a makeup storage box, I think this whole size and shape of this item strikes me as a very good drawer organizer. You can just put this in almost any drawer, and whether you are organizing makeup or if it's in the kitchen, you can organize cutlery, or if your desk has a drawer, you could even organize stationery. The possibilities are really endless. I just bought a few drawer organizers last month. I think I purchased them from Home Center. The pricing of this is very similar to the pricing of the Home Center ones, but I can honestly tell you, when I hold them side by side, the quality is night and day. It's so different, and the Home Center ones just don't feel good and feel kind of cheap in comparison, while this one is very solid, and just the whole feel and finish of the plastic is amazing. It's not completely transparent, but it is translucent, and I just really like this one. So I might get more of these in some other sizes, because Lord knows I have a lot of organizing to do. The next thing I bought in a very similar material, but this is the PP makeup storage box with lid, and they make that distinction because they call these boxes also, and this does not have any lid, and I'm really in love with this. I actually placed some makeup in here so you guys can kind of see how it would work. The feel and quality of the makeup storage box is pretty much exactly the same as this drawer organizer, because it's also polypropylene, and I really like the lid on this. So it's not completely airtight, probably doesn't have a seal, but it does shut very well, so you know that no dust is going to go inside. Because I have been trying to organize most of my stuff inside drawers, inside boxes, because things get like dusty very fast. I really like being able to keep makeup in this, or you know, you could also keep pretty much anything in this really. So in here I think I have all of the makeup that I wore today. It's definitely a good height for organizing, say, lip products or smaller things. For a thing like foundation, it doesn't fit standing up. I can easily just keep it down, and the length is good enough for even some face brushes to fit. I really love this, and I think the pricing of it is also so good. So I would definitely recommend this makeup box for makeup and other stuff too. And the next thing I have is this small set of PET frames, PET being a different kind of plastic. This is supposed to be like postcard size frames. So I kind of bought this set because I have a lot of postcards, especially some are like these really vintage postcards from the 1970s that I treasure, and I just keep them away because I don't want them to fade or get like dusty or anything like that. But I wanted to be able to like see them and display them and protect them at the same time. This ended up being one of the more disappointing things, because when you look at what PET is, like I wasn't really sure, but this kind of feels like a better version of blister packing. So if you know, like especially back in the day, a lot of electronics used to be packed like this. Like if you would buy a battery charger or something, it would be packed in hard plastic like this, which you would have to cut. When I saw this, I was like, this is PET? I don't think this is that great. So I did try putting one of my postcards in it. Now they say postcard size, which is a specific size, but I realized my vintage postcards are actually a little bit larger, so most of them are not fitting in, which is disappointing. But I suppose it's not Muji's fault, right, if these are irregularly sized postcards. but I ended up finding one of my smaller postcards that would fit into this. I think it displays it well, but you can see that the postcard is too small for the frame, and this is from Lourdes, which is a place in France, and again, super vintage postcard, and I think it looks really beautiful. I wouldn't really recommend this set because it's not great. Everything's not going to be amazing, and I always give you guys honest opinions in my hauls and my reviews and stuff. But moving on now to the stationery. I do watch a lot of art channels on YouTube, people who are into calligraphy, people who are into gouache and watercolor painting and stuff like that. And one thing that Muji is very well known for is their really nice stationery, especially their pens. So even though I didn't really need any stationery, I couldn't resist just picking up a few things to kind of see them and get a feel for myself. So the first thing I picked up is this cute small little notebook. This is basically the 6mm notebook, that's what they call it. And it is B5 size, I guess. There are many different notebooks in many different sizes, and some of them are hardcover, some are soft, they have spiral binding, etc. This was actually one of the more affordable ones because I just wanted to see it, and I really like this like whole brown craft paper earthy tone cover. It is also a soft floppy cover, and it doesn't seem to have a lot of pages. It is a line notebook. It's just got these simple light lines on it, because I know that if I have to write in this, I'm someone who absolutely needs the help of lines to write, and if I try to write stuff on plain paper, it goes everywhere. Like it goes like this and like that, and I just cannot consistently maintain lines on my own. But I also really like that the lines are very light, because I was also thinking of occasionally doodling in the notebook, and I think that, you know, I can doodle in this, because if you're doing more serious art, you need like blank paper, but for doodles, lined paper is nice. I'm gonna start using this really soon, and I'm planning like a super casual scrapbook type thing. Like maybe I'll write a little, maybe I'll draw a little, and maybe I'll stick pictures and stuff, like who even knows. And next I got this set of masking tape. That's basically what they call it. There are 3 tapes in here. It's just basically paper tape or washi tape, which is a Japanese thing anyway. This is something that you can use for multiple purposes. You can stick bits of it in notebooks. People especially who are watercoloring use these washi tapes to kind of make clean borders inside sketchbooks, and then once you're done with your watercolor, you peel off the tape. And you can also kind of stick these on walls, and you can peel it off without any damage or residue onto whatever surface you have stuck it. So this is a set of washi tape with 3 different patterns, but I like how they basically have the same color scheme that ties it all together. So these are really lovely, and again, I can think of so many different ways to put them to use. And now I have saved some of the best stationery for last, which are their very famous pens. Pens are something beloved by the art community, and they are especially known for making these very smooth flowing gel pens, and they have them in so many different colors, you guys, like including fun, unique colors. Very easy to get carried away, but I have a lot of pens already, a pretty large collection, and I don't write with them so much, so I restricted myself to only 2 pens. So the first one is this smooth gel ink ballpoint pen, knock type, and this has a 0.5 mm tip. So it says gel ink ballpoint type, which is really great because it gives you that lovely smooth flow of gel ink, but then it has a ball point, which is amazing because I love the way ink flows on a gel pen, but I always hate the tips and I prefer ball pen tips. So in this you get the best of both worlds, and this is a knock type pen, so you can press it like that. One of the good things of Muji is that they sell a lot of different refills, not just for pens but for everything else around the house that you buy. So if you buy like their earbuds and stuff, next time you can buy the one without the dabba, which is just refills, you know. Once you buy these pens, you can just keep on buying refills, save a little bit of money and also generate less waste, which is nice. But I've noticed that sometimes the refills aren't that much cheaper than buying a whole new piece. Sometimes there's a significant saving, so you usually do have to check. This is just a really beautiful brown color, and it kind of matches my washi tape also, so I think we got a nice theme going. The final pen that I have is this beautiful polycarbonate hexagonal pen. Kind of cheated when I said this was one pen, because it is one pen, but it does have 6 colors in it. Now I have had 4 color pens in the past, but 6 colors, that's new. I thought it would be very fat, like it is fatter than a normal pen, but it's actually quite comfortable to hold. And there are some like common colors as well as some unique colors, and you can also buy individual refills for this when they finish, so that is fantastic. And this is a good pen to have with you on a daily basis. You have so many different options. The thing with the gel pen is that the color does take a little bit of time to dry, which I think is normal with gel pens. It functions more like an old-fashioned fountain pen. So if you mistakenly rub whatever you've written very soon after you've written it, it's going to create a mess. You need to be careful like that, but you don't have that kind of problems with a ball pen, you know. So that is it, you guys, for today's Muji haul. And if you guys live in India and want to shop from Muji, but you didn't live in a place that had a store, now you can buy stuff from them. Another reminder that I've linked everything down below, so you guys can go there to check like the dimension information, pricing, and all of that stuff. I am quite happy with everything that I bought, save for one thing. I think that I will be buying more from them as and when I need more organizational stuff, because I'm very impressed with the quality of that PP plastic, and the pricing of that's really good. Overall, I find Muji pricing to mostly be like fine. It's not the cheapest place, but some things are actually really worthwhile, while some things feel a little bit on the expensive side. I've noticed that even though Muji isn't that cheap in India, we actually have price parity with a lot of foreign countries, and that means they're not charging us an excessive amount in India. I compared the price of the aroma diffuser in India with the US pricing, and I was quite surprised that in US it actually costs quite a bit more than it does in India, and I absolutely love it. Everything that's available in the Muji store isn't online, but a lot of it is. I think they are also still adding stuff, so I'll be keeping an eye out. Don't forget to leave me a comment below. Just let me know which of the things I bought you liked the most, and if you have already purchased from Muji, feel free to share your experiences, whether they may be positive or negative, and if you have any recommendations also, feel free to share them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.